Hey, Doug, it's Kevin. Congratulations. Really happy for you. Just a great honor. I just wanted to ask you though, obviously a lot of the talk when it comes to your name as well, it took such a long time. How much did this cross your mind over the years, and maybe every year that this sort of came along? Is it something that you thought of and paid attention to, and how much, was it frustrating at all, I guess, over the years?
I'll be honest with you, Kevin. This was very unexpected, and I look at it and I truly believe this, that just for me to have been considered and mentioned in this category is beyond any of the dreams I ever would have had when I started playing this game. And I've been a very fortunate guy. Played in the '70s, '80s, and '90s, and the people that I played with, and I was not expecting this, and I'm probably as excited or more excited for my family and people that were huge parts of my life that I now get to take time to reach out and call and appreciate. And the number of texts and calls I've got today, there's a kaleidoscope of people that have been so good to me. And it's a privilege to play in this league and play this game. And it's humbling, and I've never really thought much about it, I'll be honest with you. And I think when you come into this league, it's not what you think about. You think about playing the game and staying in the moment. And this is the cherry on top of a Sunday that just came out of left field, I'll be honest with you.
Doug, it's Curtis. Can you tell us some of the people you have heard from today? Maybe some people you haven't heard from in a while?
Well, I try to keep in contact with a lot of people, and the phone has just been off the hook. I just got off with Jumbo, Brian Kilray, Glenn Sather. I mean, it's Dave Hutchison was my defense partner. I mean, Bob Murray. I mean, you realize how fortunate you are. Well, we're going through tough times in society right now. The fact that I was able to be with all my family, and for my wife in particular, and kids and grandkids. So the calls that I get are from people that I really care about, and some that I hadn't been in contact with in a few years, and everything that we're pleased. But I look at it as a chance to celebrate their participation in my journey. And I never take it for granted, people, and how fortunate I've been to have people share their knowledge, wisdom, and most importantly, their time with me through my entire life. It's a family celebration, but a lot of those people I consider part of my family also.
Doug, congratulations. On the NHL call, you put your wife on with Lanny, and so what compelled you to do that?
Well, she is the heartbeat of our family. When we first moved to San Jose, our kids were 7-5, 3-1. I had it easy. I just go play hockey, and she knew nobody. But what she has done, she's been the foundation and rock of our family. And I thought it was important, that Lanny be able to share it with both of us at the same time. And to me, family and health are the most important things in life. And I think, if anything, going through what everybody in our community is going through, that you cherish those things. And to me, it was just an opportunity. The call came out of left field, and I just so happened to be walking in to pick up one of my granddaughters, and my wife was sitting right there, and it was just an automatic that she deserves to share a huge part of this moment.
So, Doug, you have your 4 children with you right now, or is that right?
Yeah, I've got my children. I've got my in-law. My 2 son-in-laws are here. My youngest daughter, who's 6.5 months pregnant, drove up here a week and a half ago just to spend some time with us. And it's rare that we get to have all of our crew together. And it was just one of those moments. And everybody, they've known, again, all the work that my wife has put into it to support us through this whole time, the moves and things like that. So it was a special day that way.
Can I ask how many people are in the house right now?
Total, I think there's 12.
Oh.
They congregated quickly. How's that?
What's just these last couple hours been like? Obviously with your family around, and that you never expect something like this, but
you don't. It's been really special because you get to thank them, and the first thing that happens, and that's, I think, why the reaction was to share with my wife, but also was almost like a mental kaleidoscope of all the people, from my own family growing up, having a big brother that shared all his experiences, Brian Kilray. I mean, you can go on and on. Some wonderful friends, Bob Verdi, who's a very close friend who's been very influential in our life, the Magnuson family. There's not enough hours in the day. And the people that I got to share it with right out of the gate were the people that I work with on a daily basis, the Joe Wills and Rosemary's. And it's a feeling that you have that you can't really put into words, and I'm still processing it, I'll be honest with you. The next few days we'll be spending a lot of time reaching out to a lot of people that have texted and sent messages, a lot of our current players. It means a lot for them to, Bernsey and Logan and right down the line, Eric and all that. It makes you realize how fortunate you are to be in a business where people, I think, care and take care of each other.
Doug, when you look back at your achievements as a player, are there any numbers or awards that stand out in particular as being extra meaningful for you, whether it's a Norris Trophy or 1,000 games or anything like that? Is there anything specific that's extra special?
I think one of the special moments for me was playing in the Canada Cup in '84, playing with the Gretzkys and Messiers and Kevin Lowe's. It was a best on best playing against, the Russian team with the KLM line. So, that jumps out at me right this moment. I mean, the individual things are, you look back and you say, that's nice. But I think all the teammates that I played with, and the things that, that you go through together, and even the first couple of years of Sharks. I mean, there's a lot of guys, the pioneers, the Kelly Kissios, the Dean Evasons, the Rob Zettlers, the Jeff Odgers. I mean, that list goes on. So every team and moment was different. And I know this, when you do finish playing, you miss being around the guys, the camaraderie, the team dynamics and things like that. So I just, I think I mentioned on the call, how lucky am I? I have a brother that included me in everything and won 4 Stanley Cups. I got to play, my first roommate was Stan McKeita. I got to play with Keith Magnuson, who, incredible human being. Bob Pulford was my first coach and first GM. I got to play with Bobby Orr. It goes on and on. Tony Esposito. It's just the friendships you make in this game and the quality of people in this game make this game special. And it's moments like today that flashes you back to that, and hopefully we don't ever take that for granted.
What are you drinking tonight?
You know what? That's a good question.
That's a bottle somewhere stashed away, or what?
We'll find some. But it's one of those things that, it's funny that the emotions was the unexpected shock, and that now it's, you want to get back to these people that have taken the time to text you and say nice things and nice words. So I think that's probably what the next couple of days will entail. But again, it is nice being surrounded by family at a time and moment like this when they've meant that much to everything.
Doug, you had a great playing career, obviously, but that's one season that stands out, a singular season, is the 81-82 season when you won the Norris. You scored 39 goals. So just talk about kind of what came together that season for you in particular.
Well, it was an interesting year. It was my first year of marriage. I got off to a good start, and I actually I broke my jaw. I got hit in the face with a shot by Lars Molin from Vancouver, and I had to get my jaw wired shut. And I was wired shut, I think, 6 or 7 weeks. I lost about 25 pounds, and my wife somehow kept feeding me, kept me going. I think I only missed 1 or 2 games during that time frame, but I was playing with some really good players, had lots of opportunities, and in many ways, it was one of those years that scored a lot of goals, had a lot of points. I felt I was a better hockey player actually the following year. I thought it was even a more rounded player. And I think what happens when you accomplish something like that, and I was very fortunate to win a Norris Trophy, and then you build on, you go to the '84 Canada Cup. What you want to do when you have a success like that, or you're playing an event with really high-end players, that's the standard you want to measure yourself to. So you try to raise your expectations and your preparations and all those things and learn from those things. So those are the things that I remember the most is moments that raised your own level of expectation for yourself. And as I say, going into that dressing room in '84 with all those guys, you go in there in an awe, and then you come together and you play in big moments. That experiential learning is something you never forget. And Kevin and I talked a little bit about it today, and he was part of that team, and it was the friendships you build in moments like that are pretty cool.
Doug, kind of a random question, maybe just for my own curiosity than anything else, but obviously you were drafted by Indianapolis too in '77. Was there ever a thought in your mind of joining the WHA at that point? And do you think about how things might have been different if you had signed with them instead?
Well, my brother was playing for the Montreal Canadiens. That's who I looked up to. He was my idol. And it was interesting because at that point, you were allowed to get offers from any WHA team. And there was WHA teams that were calling the night before the draft offering a lot of money, a lot more than I was actually going to make playing in the NHL at that time. And it wasn't even a question. I idolized my brother, and the Bob Gaineys, the Larry Robinsons, and people like that I've known since I was a young boy. And that's the league I wanted to play in. And that's, I never really gave it any second thought at that point.
Also, fair to say you think you'll be joined one day by the likes of Joe and Patty?
I'll be their greeter. And that'll be special moments too. And that's the thing about our game is whether it be players from the 70s or 80s or all the way up to right now, this game is in great hands. Not only great players and great athletes, but really quality people. And there's no doubt in my mind that those two guys will be very quick entries when they finish playing, which might not be for a while.
Doug, obviously you got your whole family there. Did you have to call anyone and give them the news? Was there a first person you called, or was everybody all pretty much aware?
I made sure that the family was all together in the house. I put a call into one of my family members that's my mother is at a senior home, so trying to reach her was one of my first calls. And but no, the phone just started ringing off the hook. And I haven't had time to get back to a lot of people, but I will. And as I say, it humbles you to know the amount of people that supported you over the years and take the time during a time like this. It means the world.
Did you get through to her? Did you get a chance to talk to her? And
not yet. I've tried several times, and I'll keep trying because knowing her, she's dancing or doing something. She's active.
Hey, Doug, Brian Witt with NBC Sports Bay Area here. Congratulations. I was just looking it up, and I believe, first off, I know the induction was just for your playing career. I believe you've now been a GM for longer than you played. And I was just curious, as you look back on both stages, is there one part that you look back on more fondly or one that you think you'll be remembered for more?
Oh boy, I just honestly, part of the hockey community and part of this league for 40 years now. It hurts my shoulder just to say that sometimes. I've got body parts that ache and creak. But it's been, when you get the ability to make your living doing something you love, it is a gift, and you never take that for granted. I think everybody that was on the call, whether it be Kim or Ken or Marion or Kevin or Jerome, the one thing we all do is we love the game of hockey, and we care about the game of hockey. And I think whether you're coaching or playing or managing or whatever, you want to represent the game properly, and that's what we try to do. Highly competitive, there's no doubt. It's all about giving your team the best opportunity to win. But I look at just my involvement in the game, and I've cherished that. I mean, look at the people I've got to meet, the places and opportunities of meeting not only people in our sport, but people that follow our sport. And I've had the privilege of, working for incredible owners. Coming to San Jose was one of the toughest but best decisions I ever made in my life. And again, it was my wife that basically said, follow your heart and go all in. And from Mr. Gund, Mr. Compton to Hasso Plattner, who I still believe is the finest owners in sports, I've had the privilege of working for people that I think do things the right way and value things the right way. And that's made it enjoyable.
Doug, I don't want to keep you from reaching your mom. So one last question for me. We talked a lot about the people that you've been able to share it with, your family, people like Joe Thornton, Brian Kilray. Are there some people that unfortunately aren't here with us that you wish were here to share this moment with you?
Yes, yes. Two of the most influential people in my life. First of all, my father, who passed away very young, was the rock and foundation of our family. We miss him and celebrate his life to today. A gentleman by the name of Bill O'Rourke, who mentored me in business, and I worked for him at Coca-Cola for many years while I was playing. Was an incredible business mentor. Another gentleman that was my first roommate was Stan Makita, who was like my second father. So that's just to name a couple, three of them, I guess. But there's people that you miss. People say a life may end, but a relationship does not. Often I look at things and when I have to make a decision or something, what would they have done in that situation? So I still draw upon that. But yeah, there's several people that I do miss and care about and wish I could pick up the phone and call and thank.